Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Destiny 2. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, Bastion, a little bit early. Let's get to it. So the Bastion exotic quest was not supposed to come out until January 28th. However, it turns out that the Corridors of Time was all leading up to the Bastion questline. Spoiler alert, now Bastion is a kinetic fusion rifle that has 3 separate rounds that fire at once you charge it up, and it can penetrate elemental shields. So it charges up just like a fusion rifle, but it doesn't really fire like a fusion rifle. But then again, all the fusion rifles that we have are either energy or power weapon slot. We don't have anything for the kinetic slot until now. So this does make it a little bit of a unique weapon, just in the fact that it is a kinetic fusion rifle. Now, how is it? If you look at the stats on it, the range is not real high, but the impact is. So what you'll find while you're testing it out or trying it out, the further away that you get, all of a sudden once you get past that sweet spot, the damage numbers will completely just drop down to less than half of the normal value, and then that is the bottom. Alright, so what do you need to do in order to get the quest line? You will need to have finished the impossible task and saved Saint 14, and you'll have to have picked up the Corridors of Time quest from Osiris. So as long as you have that on your character, then you're good to go. You'll want to go and make your way over to Mercury and the time dial. So go over where you normally go talk to Osiris and then start up the Corridors of Time just like you have to get those 19 pieces of lore and the emblem. Now once you start it up, you will need a specific code in order to get to that time vault. And it is flower triple snake flower plus link plus triple plus snake triple flower snake plus snake link triple flower plus triple link triple plus triple. Now, if you did not catch all that or write it down, you can just follow along in this video as I go through each door. Now, when you get to there and you get to the time vault, in the center you will actually be able to get to the sarcophagus and interact with it. Once you interact with it, then you're ready for the next step. You should get a drop at the end of that. So make sure that you have the quest line active on that character. So you have the Corridors of Time, explore the Corridors of Time, and then follow along and get to that time vault, interact, and then you should get a drop. You should see something drop at the end of that. I'll let you follow along here, and then we will pick back up at the end.
Thank you for coming. We've gathered here today to celebrate the life of my mentor, my inspiration. They called him Crota's End. The Hive Kingslayer. The young wolf. Hero of the Red War. The man who avenged Kate 6. He had 100 types, I do not recall. And he died doing what he does best, defending the last city of humanity. Ages ago, he saved my life, and then inspired me to save myself. I am glad that he did, because travel will help us. He is gone. And there is no one to save us now. On the day we met, I decided I would follow his example. I'm still trying. I've marked this grave with one of his favorite weapons, shattered in that final confrontation. It used to be mine. All who find what we've left here, please leave it be. Unless you're still...
Now, there's been a lot of conjecture about what we will get after we solve this crazy, huge puzzle. And when I say we, I mean the few people on Reddit and the few streamers that are putting everything together and getting that puzzle sorted out. So congrats to them for all the effort. Now, the conjecture went as far as to say that a new area would pop up by finishing this, all the way to getting back the Galahorn or an exotic sword because of the sword on the sarcophagus, all the way down to getting 2 blues to drop at the end. Congratulations, you did it. And everything in between. So emblem, sparrow, exotic, ghost shell, a whole bunch of different things that it could be, but now at least we know what is at the end, and it is the quest line for the Bastion exotic. So after you have gotten the drop, then you have to go talk to Saint 14. Now, this part may or may not be bugged for you. He'll say something about exploring the corridors of time, but then he won't give you anything. And what you'll do is just back out of the conversation and then go and interact with him again. And that should pop up. Right below his bounty should be that quest step. And the next quest step, of course, is to go to the Tangled Shore and beat up some Fallen. But not just any Fallen. You need to find 5 captains and or servitors and take them out. And yes, you have to do the final blow, so going into a team doesn't really help you. Now, the Tangled Shore has 2 locations that you can find captains and or servitors, the Four-Horn Gulch and Thieves Landing. There's going to be a bunch of people, more than likely, at Thieves Landing, so it'll be difficult to get the final blow on any of those, and the public event does not count. Now, once you have all 5 of those drops, you're going to go back and talk to Spider, and Spider is going to tell you to go into a lost sector, and it's the one that's right there in Thieves Landing, the one that's a little bit funny, reminds me a lot of a bar. So you go into that lost sector and you do the lost sector just like you normally would, but when you get towards the end, right at the last location, there will be an extra captain, a boss that you have to defeat. So you're going to have exploders, you're going to have snipers, and then you're going to have this captain that's going to be chasing you around trying to take you out. Take out the captain however you can, and then you're done. You don't have to finish the lost sector if you don't want to, but you certainly can because you're already there at the end. This lost sector is kind of like a reminder of the lawlessness that is going on in the Tangled Shore, and it's kind of neat that it's not like a normal lost sector, that it is really completely different because it is set up as kind of a outer world cantina, where outlaws and rebels and all that, they hang out kind of more or less together, although mostly it's just Fallen, and then of course they use the Hive as entertainment, and Cabal even. Now once you've finished the Lost Sector, you'll go back and talk to Spider again, and he'll give you the next step of the quest line. And the next step of the quest line has you doing 10 bounties for Spider, 8 public events, and then defeating 30 challenging enemies. And it may seem daunting, but if you had been watching my other video about prepping for the future, then you will already be ready for this step and have those 10 bounties ready to go already. Now, if you don't, of course, you'll need ghost fragments, which you'll get from patrols and public events. Get those ghost fragments, get the cheaper bounties, get those done. You'll have to go to different areas, different lost sectors, etc. to get those completed out. The most expensive one will cost you 5, the cheapest ones will cost you 1. So just by doing the bounties, you're going to help yourself get those challenging enemies. And then public events on the Tangled Shore, there's actually a trick to it. If you do a public event and you make it heroic, that will count for 2. So you can actually do 4 heroic public events and be done. Now it may be difficult as you have other people that are uninformed that do not make it heroic, and then of course it'll take you closer to 8 public events. So you can do 8 regular public events or 4 heroics. I mean, how many public events would you rather do? Exactly. Additionally, doing a heroic public event, 1 heroic public event will more than likely fulfill that requirement for challenging enemies. So, and if you do not know how to make the public events on the Tangled Shore heroic, the cryopod event, you get rid of 2 waves of enemies and then the boss comes out. Damage the boss and then a cryogenic fluid leaks onto the ground from the cryopod. When you're looking at the cryopod, there will be a couple of circles that are smoking, and there's 2 on each side. Destroy the cover and you can have access to the orb or cryo freeze or whatever they're calling it. Toss the orb at the boss and he'll start to slow down and freeze. Hit him with 3 orbs and that will trigger the heroic public event. Now if you miss one, if you throw it but he dodges or whatever, you're still okay because there are 2 orbs every time the cryo freeze starts. Once you get those 2 orbs, then the gas will subside and then you'll have to damage the boss some more. So at some point you'll run out of health on the boss in order to get those pods out. Now once you damage and destroy the covers won't regenerate even if an orb shows up in the same spot again. The other one is the Ether Ritual in the Four-Horn Gulch. For this one, once you take out the chieftain, there will be 3 chieftains in 3 waves. Once you destroy the chieftain, there will be ether that fills the air, little glowing blobs. Shoot the glowing blobs before they reach the center, and if you get all of them, then it will turn heroic. The other one is the Fallen in the Four-Horn Gulch that will collect ether, and you just have to shoot the collector that is on the side. So you have the big main thing right in the middle, and then along the side there will be a collector, and you'll see it kind of shooting up ether to that middle part. And do that 3 times, and then that will turn it heroic. So once you have completed all of that, the next step is to go to the Four-Horn Gulch and go to the Lost Sector there and visit the grave. Now I know what you're thinking, that you'll have to go to the end and you'll have to search around for some sort of grave, and that's really not the case. It is actually towards the beginning. You go into the Lost Sector, there'll be some dogs, you kind of curve around to the left hand side and go over a waterfall. As you go over the waterfall, the grave is right there. It is just kind of a glowing blue thing on the side of the waterfall. So look for that. You interact with that and then you'll get the next step. And of course, some exploders that'll try to take you out. All right, so now you're ready for the final step, and that is doing the specific strike for the Hollowed Lair. So it's not the regular Hollowed Lair strike, it's not on the playlist. You just go to the Tangled Shore and there will be a flag or banner next to the Hollowed Lair strike, and that will be the memento one. Go into there and do that one, and you will have to go all the way through, all the way to the end when you meet the boss, and then there will be a secondary boss that you have to defeat. Defeat that secondary boss and you won't have to complete the strike, but you've made it all the way there, so you might as well, right? right? And then you're ready to receive your reward, the Bastion fusion rifle. So once you finish that secondary boss and get the next quest step, you'll see it drop, or finish the strike. Either way, just make sure that you get some damage on that boss. And there is matchmaking, so you don't have to do this by yourself. So once you're done, you go back, talk to Saint 14, and get your prize, the Bastion Fusion Rifle. Congratulations, Destiny 2 community. We did it. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
close to death. Father, found me. Made me whole. Made me more. It's your turn to die for good, dead people.
Good health, friend. What is this? My old weapon? No, your new weapon. Well, you seem to improve everything you touch, Guardian. Old things made new, given purpose. This is a good lesson. In your absence, I walked the streets of the city, spoke to the people. I sat beneath the traveler and listened. Scars are still healing. I witnessed many new faces. They look to me and see a myth. I admit it does make me feel old and humble. As I walked, do you know what I saw? Smiles. I heard music. It is good to be reminded why we fight. I will walk the streets again tomorrow. Maybe I will sing.